general information about the police department, some general safety information while you're on campus, ways you can contact us, different services we provide. If you have any questions at all, just to reiterate, please feel free to drop those in. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about our department. My name is Andrew Panwitz. I'm a lieutenant with the campus police department. I oversee our investigations and support services units. So I've been here about 14 years, so I have some general information. If you have general campus questions, I can probably answer some of those too. But we just want to welcome you to our campus here. Let's see. So on the Auraria campus, we have 3 institutions, one of those being CU Denver. We also serve Metropolitan State University of Denver and the Community College of Denver. Collectively, we have about 41,000 students, and then about 5,000 staff. So 46-ish thousand people here on campus. So it is a bit like a small city. It gets busy, it's very vibrant, and it's an exciting place to be for sure. About us, we are a full service police department. We do operate 24/7, 365. On campus, we have under 3-minute response time. I pulled it earlier at 2.89 minutes, but that's to any call. So that includes emergencies and non-emergencies. So emergencies would be even less than that. So that's something we're proud of. A lot of other police agencies can't brag on that necessarily. So if you ever need help here, we're always here and we're happy to help quickly. Our staff, we have 32 post-certified police officers. That means that we have all of the same training, we meet the same standards, and we have arrest authority by the state. So we're normal police officers like you would find where you live or other places that you might work or go to school. We have 10 community service officers, which I'll talk about on a later slide. 8 communications technicians are dispatchers that are here 24/7. So if you call us at 2 o'clock on Christmas morning when everything else is closed, we have somebody here on campus that can take your call, that's familiar with the campus layout, the needs of our community, and can get you help quickly and easily. And then we have our own records department as well. That is 2 staff. A little bit about what we do. Our primary goal is the protection of life and property. We want to make sure that students, staff, faculty all have a safe and conducive learning environment. Detection of crime, enforcement of laws and regulations, investigations. So we do have a sergeant and 3 full-time detectives here that investigate any crimes that happen on campus. Those detectives, one of our detectives sits on what's called the care team, which with each of the 3 institutions, and they discuss students that might need additional resources or help, or students that are struggling, so that we can all work together to make sure that folks are successful. Traffic control, building and facility security, and then we do department-specific safety training. So if you end up working on campus as a student employee or full-time staff, we'll go in and provide different safety trainings kind of tailored to the needs of those departments to help answer questions for folks. Some other trainings that we provide, we host monthly. So we have a Stop the Bleed training that outlines the use of tourniquets and wound packing to keep people safe. Active harm preparedness is just personal safety information for use in the unlikely event of an active harm event. That's really beneficial, not only while you're at school, but in other aspects of life too. The top 2 classes are free. So if you're ever interested in those are on our emergency management page. If you just go to the Auraria campus website, you can follow the tabs to emergency management and register for those. And then we do teach CPR and AED that's hosted by our emergency management office. That does have a $50 fee just because that's what they charge us to teach it. So just keep those in mind. They're good trainings. They're useful for folks on campus. And that's that. Do we have any questions so far? Sorry, I'm chatting away.
Nothing's come through yet, so we're
All right,
good.
great. Um, so moving along, we do have community service officers as well. So this picture just kind of shows to differentiate who's who. So our police officers wear a standard dark blue uniform, and we have our community service officers in that lighter blue with the black pants. They are assigned to each institutional neighborhood. So each one of our institutions has two. So they work a day shift and a swing shift. So they're here from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Um, they provide many of the same services as our police officers do. They don't have arrest authority and things like that. But if you need resources and you see them around, flag them down. They're happy to help. And if they can't provide you what you need, they'll call somebody and get somebody there quickly that can. You'll see them, they do a lot of building foot patrols. So you'll see them around in buildings, and they're also in housing facilities as well throughout the time that they're here on shift. Additional services we provide a night rider service, and it really isn't night rider, it's anytime. If at any time on campus you need a safety escort between 2 points, being a parking lot and a classroom building or the light rail station to your dorm, we are happy to drive you for safety escorts. So we'll send either a community service officer or a police officer out to meet you to get you to where you need to go. We do vehicle jump starts free of charge. So if you're parking here on campus and you find your battery dead, we'll come out and get you going. And the same is true for vehicle unlocks. So if you lock your keys in your car and you can't get in, we are happy to unlock your car and get you on the road. I have some QR codes on the next slide, so you don't have to punch these into your phone necessarily. You can just scan the QR code and click save. But probably one of the most important things I'll talk about today is how to reach us. If you call Denver, or if you call 911 from your cell phone, it'll go to the Denver Police Department's 911 center. You may wait on hold there for a little bit, and then you'll talk to one of their dispatchers. Their dispatcher will figure out the call actually belongs to our police department. They'll transfer you, and then you'll talk to our dispatcher. So it can create significant delays. So if you, for emergency or non-emergency, call that 303-556-5000 number, that is for police, fire, and medical emergencies on campus. We can get help for all three, and that reduces the response time significantly, so you're not having to play a game of telephone between dispatchers. Another great way to reach us is our text-to-tip, and that is 720-593-8477. That gives you the ability to text or send pictures and video to the same dispatcher that you might talk to on the phone. So if you're in a situation where you feel uncomfortable to call, might be unable to call, or need to send, photo or video of something or someone, that's really helpful. You get the same service you would as if you called in. And then from a campus landline phone, all of the landline phones on campus dialing 911 will reach our dispatch center directly. We have two physical locations. The first is in the administration building, which is on the west side of campus, pretty near the Lynx Crossing housing. And then we have a second small office, which is where our detectives are in the Tivoli on the second floor, suite 228. And that is across from the pizza place, if you're familiar with where that is. Here's the contact card to call us. So if you want to scan that, again, it should just populate a contact card in your phone, and you can click save. All right, and then this next one is our text-to-tip. And sometimes if you save like an alphanumeric symbol in front of that, it'll move it up to the top of your contact list. Some of the phones have gotten smart and they don't do that now, but you can try that, and that just keeps it available up at the top for you to access easily. All right. Another way you can contact us is by using these emergency telephones that are around campus. So the ones that are out on sidewalks are these red towers. They have a blue light on the top. So if you're looking for them at night, it's just a solid blue light. If you're inside of buildings and they're along the walls, you'll see a red flag that sticks out from the wall with a white telephone on it. They all function the same way. It's just a single red button, places a 911 call into our dispatch. If you're using one of these towers, it'll cause the blue light to flash on top, and then it is a speakerphone call with our dispatcher. They're immediately getting the location, and then the blue light makes it really easy for our staff to find them, especially at night. So know that those are around. They're also in elevators. Let's see. Some ways that we'll reach out to you. So if there's an emergency on campus that we need to reach out to you, we have a system that's called Rave, and we push out emergency alerts through that. All student, staff, and faculty are enrolled in that system when they're onboarded with their institution. This is an opt-out only program. So if you opt out of it, you'll stop receiving these. However, I would definitely discourage that because that's how we're going to provide you important information so you can either make decisions to leave, stay, or to keep yourself safe. Another way that we'll reach out is called a timely warning, and that is part of the Clery Act. And that mandates that higher education institutions make alerts when one of seven crimes, and there are seven outlined crimes that they mandate, if that occurs on our campus, poses an imminent safety threat to the community, and a suspect is unknown, we have to push those out. And those go out in the form of an email. The email, usually, if we have surveillance video or we have a picture of somebody, we'll attach that. We'll attach a map, a brief synopsis of what happened, and then some safety tips and information. And that's just to be transparent and let our community know that something's happened so that you can make decisions to keep yourself safe, avoid a certain area, etc. If you need to contact police off campus, I know there are several off campus housing facilities that are adjacent to us. 911 in any emergency, and then the Denver Police Department's non-emergency number is 720-913-2000. We work very closely with them. They're great partners. They're very helpful, so don't be afraid to contact them if that's appropriate as well. Some general crime prevention tips. Our biggest crime on campus is crime of opportunity and property crime. So just an example, recently we had a student leave a $2,000 MacBook computer in the library. They got up, went to get a cup of coffee, 5-10 minutes, came back and it was gone. So that's our most common call for service is theft calls. So always keep your belongings with you. If you're bringing a bicycle to campus, use a U-lock rather than a cable lock. Cable locks are very easily defeated by thieves. So it's a small investment, but it's worth it. I know they're not cheap, but it'll definitely keep your bike safe, and then you keep your transportation. Lock your car doors, remove valuables from your car if you're able to. If you can't, try to just cover them up and make them out of sight. Stay in well-lit areas and report all suspicious behavior to us. So trust your gut. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. 99 times out of 100, when people call and they say, hey, something doesn't feel right here, they're right. So don't ever feel like something's too small to call us. Our job is to keep folks safe and make decisions on, does this seem right? Does this seem wrong? We're happy to come out. It's not a disturbance, and that's what we're here for. Some general just awareness stuff, and this doesn't just apply on campus, but just generally, always be vigilant, avoid distractions like excessive phone use, like if you're out walking around, pay attention to people around you, try not to listen to music loudly or just put one like AirPod or headphone in so that you can still hear ambient noise around you. Don't engage with the aggressive or aggravated people. And as I mentioned before, walk in well lit and heavily traveled areas. We do have some emergency equipment on campus that are more for medical emergencies that I just make people aware of. So we do have AEDs and bleeding control kits in all of the campus buildings. Those are typically located near the elevator banks on the first floor. And I'll show you a map on the next slide that can kind of help you orient yourself to where those might be in a building. And then bleeding control kits that contain tourniquets and other materials to control life-threatening bleeding. So if you're ever interested in that Stop the Bleed class, it goes through exactly what's in these kits throughout the campus. In all of the classroom buildings, we have maps that look like this. So if you're ever unsure of where a fire extinguisher is, an emergency telephone, a fire alarm pull station, and that AED and Stop the Bleed are at, these are next to the door in all of the classrooms. So if you're needing any of those things, just know those are there. They're also great for alternate egress points. So if you need another way, if there's a fire in a building and the one way that you know to get in and out is blocked by that, or there's some reason you can't get through there, know these are in here so that you can find alternate egress points and be able to get out. A topic we get a lot of questions on are what are items that I as a student could have to keep myself safe. So firearms on campus are with or without a concealed carry permit are illegal. That law was enacted July 1st of 2024. So absolutely no firearms on campus whatsoever. However, pepper spray is allowed. Tasers or stun guns are allowed, and small folding knives that are not spring assisted are allowed, but they have to be under 3.5 inches. So just be aware of those. But the one I want to highlight, definitely the firearms, is a newer law, and they are not allowed on campus. That brings me to the end of what I have, and I'm happy to answer any questions for folks on the call. Oh, thank you for pointing that out. Yes, you can register your bicycle with us. So if it were ever to get stolen here on campus, we already have all the information we need to create a report. So we just need make, model, serial number, and color. Those registrations happen on the police department's website, or you can stop by our office at either location and we can do that there as well.
All right, so yeah, let's open it up to some questions. You can unmute if you're comfortable unmuting, or if you would like to use the chat, you may put your questions in the chat, and I'm happy to read those aloud. Do you have escorts for walking on campus instead of just driving?
Absolutely, yes. Yes, so we can walk you if you'd prefer that. So whatever your preference is, we can absolutely accommodate.
Great. Next one. Are electric scooters also allowed to be registered?
Yes, absolutely. We've seen an uptick in theft in electric scooters, so that's a great question. And yes, we registered those just the same as the bikes.
Would it be appropriate for me to report underage students with drugs or alcohol to you as a current student?
Yes, absolutely. So that Clery Act that I described earlier requires that we keep count of instances of alcohol violation and drug violation on campus. So we can take those reports, or they can be reported to the institution directly, and then they're sent over to us for that statistic keeping. And if it's something that rises to a level that needs to be addressed by administration or by the police, we will do that as well. Good question. Thank you.
And I will say on that, since you did bring that up, CU Denver Conduct Office does have what they call the Good Samaritan policy. So if you are, maybe at a function with other students, maybe it's a party, concert, whatever, on campus. If there is a student that may be exhibiting alcohol poisoning or potential drug overdose, the conduct office does encourage you to call that in. And as a good Samaritan, for making that call, they will not hold you responsible. So they want to make sure folks are being, taking care of each other. If you see something, say something. So there's also that as well.
I can actually speak on the law that surrounds that too a little bit. I have some slides. Give me just a second, and I had them up, and I didn't share them. So let me. See. Let's try this. Okay, now my two screens are messed up, but I'm happy to read these for everybody. So you won't be able to see them. So Colorado Revised Statute does provide immunity from arrest and prosecution for underage people if they're calling in a medical instance where they're concerned about somebody. So if an underage person calls 911 and reports in good faith that another underage person was in need of medical assistance due to alcohol or drug consumption, and that underage person who called 911 provides his or her name to the 911 operator, the underage person also remains on scene with that person until medical assistance arrives, you are essentially cleared from any wrongdoing. So our department would much rather have people be safe than write minor in possession tickets for drugs, alcohol, marijuana, things like that. So just know if you call us and you're doing that to keep somebody safe, you're immune from any sort of prosecution anyway. And we want to encourage people to call to get help rather than fear the possibility of getting in trouble.
I have a question that I hear a lot in my work with students of different uses of those emergency light poles. Most people have seen them. Is it best to remain by one if you choose to like press the button to get help that way? Or is it better to keep moving until you find another one and press another one if you have to be on the move? Is it a bit
If
of
you
both?
Yeah, if you have to be on the move, I think just moving from one to the next is great. Because then we're constantly getting an update. We have a general direction of travel. We have constant communication. Another point on that too, once that's activated, we have cameras on all the exteriors of the building. So our dispatcher can actually pull that up and follow the caller. So then they're able to update our officers that are en route to that of what's going on. Good
Excellent.
question.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, what other questions do folks have? I can attest, I actually was a student at CU Denver like many, many years ago, and I did lock my keys in my car, and the Auraria PD did help me get into my car and so I can drive away. I did have to show them my license and registration and all that good stuff, but there are some great services. We usually will see them even hosting some tabling events. So we have a big block party the first week of fall semester, and you can usually catch some of the resource officers and officers out there saying hello and being friendly when it gets cold. I love when they do their hot chocolate and apple cider table. I always stop by and visit that. So we really do have some very involved and amazing officers officers and resource officers on campus. So I do encourage folks to just connect and don't be afraid. Can you talk a little bit about some of the unhoused folks that we may see on campus and how our situations maybe sometimes handled with those folks?
Absolutely. So, we do have an active Catholic church on campus that serves lunch to unhoused folks every day at 11. Most people just come through, grab their food, leave. If we find people, so we usually have two officers there to help provide resources. So if we find folks that need additional resources that maybe aren't being met, we have a number of shelters and resource facilities that are close by in the downtown area that we will help transport folks to if they need it. If you ever find somebody on campus that you think needs our assistance or needs additional resources, absolutely call about them to our department. We treat everybody with dignity. We're not going to try to take them to jail. We want to get people to the resources that they need so that they can, you know, continue to progress or, move forward.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. If there are any other questions, now is your chance to get them asked and answered. If not, we'll let people go for the evening. It might be morning depending on where some folks are zooming from. But we do appreciate you all being here. So we do have a little bit more time. So if there are any questions or something you want more information on, please let us know. Yes, of course. Thank you, Maria. We're glad you could be here. All right. Well, if there's no additional questions, we will be in touch via email. As I said, this is recorded, so we will put this on the family website for CU Denver, the orientation website. There is a family Facebook page as well. Amanda, would you mind grabbing the link for the Facebook page? We'll post that in here. That is a great place for our families to stay connected and get advice or just ask questions, maybe post some resource information. So yes, thank you, Trevor, for being here. There is the link for Facebook as well. So if you want to stay connected with other families and you have questions, please do. And you also may always email us as well at ourfamily@ucdenver.edu. Whether you're a student, a parent, a support person, we are happy to help you navigate. Thank you, Lieutenant Panwitz, for your presentation and
Thank you.
the wealth of information. And we will see all of you in the upcoming fall. So keep an eye on your emails and Facebook, and we will be in touch. Have a great rest of your night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.